Hello, comic book fans and Bronze Age fans. Well, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off my collection of comic books that are tabloid size. You know, those are the ones that came out in the 70s, I think early 80s as well, in which they were larger than the usual format. They were sometimes called Treasury editions or special collector's editions. Okay, let's get started. Here we have probably the most famous one of them all, which is Batman versus the Hulk. And I believe this was the first collaboration between Marvel and DC. Absolutely beautiful cover and back cover by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, which is my favorite comic book artist. He also did the interior work, and it's awesome. Here we have some Marvel, and like I said, they called it the Marvel Treasury Edition, the Astonishing Spider-Man. Here, this is a collection of stories in which he teams up with these characters: Iron Fist, Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night, who is looking really cool right there, and the X-Men. And they face off against these guys here, the Orb and Morbius being two of them. And I do not recall what are the names of these other two, but they're also in this comic. Spider-Man there. Doctor Strange, also a collection of stories here. The Sorcerer Supreme, a deluxe edition, right there. Great back cover. Frank Bruner did this front cover, which is one of my absolute favorite Doctor Strange illustrations. Now some DC goodness here with the Shazam. This is the tie-in to the TV show that aired in the 70s. I was a huge fan of that show, and I have it now on DVD, so I can watch it whenever I want. Shazam, also a collection of stories. Here we have on the back, the DC ones had this thing where you could cut it out to make a diorama. Of course, I never did, though it would be interesting to scan this, print it out on cardboard and have my diorama. Batman here. Batman and facing Ra's al Ghul. Here, a beautiful cover, which is a wraparound cover by Neil Adams. One of the many covers that featured the death or apparent death of Robin. There's a Talia over there and Ra's al Ghul in the background. Another Batman one. Here we have super special all-villain issue. The Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, and Two-Face. Really cool illustration right there by Jim Aparo, one of my favorite artists. And again with the diorama in the back. Last but not least, we have the Superman 2 edition here. And if you look closely, you'll see that the writing here is in Spanish. That's because I bought this one in Mexico, here where I live. I live in Mexico. And it was printed here by this company, which was EN, Editorial Novaro. They were the ones that made the DC reprints back in the early 80s, or late 70s, early 80s. There we go. Now here are a couple of modern ones, that came out much later. This is a Batman War on Crime. Cover and interiors by the great Alex Ross. Let me just open it up, see if we can get a taste, some really good. Check it out right there. All right. Batman War, and also a Wonder Woman, Spirit of Truth. There you go, also by Alex Ross. And yes, I do have the Superman and Shazam ones, which round out the series, but I do not have them in tabloid size. I have them in normal magazine size. Here we have the Shazam one, which is the Power of Hope. But these I bought here in Mexico, so they are in Spanish. And likewise with the Superman, which is Peace on Earth. All right, these are, like I said, regular magazine size. All right, well, that does it for my tabloid-sized comic collection. You know, of course, I have a lot more comics which I will be showcasing on this channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and so long.